I mean, even when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was on ABC, is that what they were on?
ABC.
Nick Cage showed up in that show a few times. So they're not bashful.
Nick
Especially
Cage?
What?
Nick Cage? You said Nick Cage. And my brain went Ghost.
Like,
and my brain was like, well, he was Ghost Rider.
Nick Fury.
Okay.
Nick
I knew what he meant, but I still say, yup.
Like fucking Nick
Fury
Cage.
showed up. But so what I'm saying is,
And I was just watching Leaving Las Vegas last night, so I was just picturing him all fucking crazy-eyed. Like, he showed up, really? Like, okay, maybe I do need to watch this show. You need to take his face off. Welcome everyone to another episode of the world's greatest news and reviews.
giving you all opinions about nerd stuff is our superpower.
I'm Captain Mal.
And I'm your boy T Crawler.
And I'm Weapon 2. I'm an old dog. I can't learn new tricks. So sit by and enjoy episode 36.
Nice. Well done, sir. And thank you all for joining us on episode 36 of TWG Podcasts. And this episode is going to be all about the Marvels.
Oh, yeah.
Be all about the MCUs. We're going to give our bold predictions for the finale of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which comes out at the time of this recording on Friday? Is that when that comes out?
2 days.
Couple days. So by the time this is up, it'll be out. And much like with WandaVision, we'll see how wrong we were. Although I think we're going to be a little closer this time because WandaVision, who the fuck got that right? Spoiler alert, no one. So that'll be fine. We're also going to talk about some trailers and some upcoming MCU movies and or shows and tell you what we're really excited about. But first, there's actually a news story that broke very recently regarding one Emilia Clarke, a.k.a. Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen on Game of Thrones. She is going to be in the Disney Plus original series Secret Invasion. So there's a lot to unpack with that.
Yeah.
First of all, I think we're all good with Emilia Clarke being cast in a possible high profile Marvel role, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Also, Secret Invasion, Weapon 2. This is something you've been talking about a lot, what with the Skrulls being introduced and all of that. So for the kids at home who don't know what Secret Invasion is or how big of an event that was in the Marvel comic universe, why don't you explain it to the kids at home?
Well, it was one of the biggest little, they have these big events like Civil War was an event, all these events where they intertwine all different titles in this big epic event. And Secret Invasion was when the Skrulls had taken the place of several of our favorite Marvel characters, and you never knew who to trust. That's basically the storyline for Secret Invasion. That's pretty much what it was. What?
They took the place of, meaning like they
took the place
looked
of.
like them.
They looked like them. They had their apparent powers at times. They were perfect imposters, and you never knew who you could trust.
And so they kind of set the seeds for that in Spider-Man Far From Home, right? With Nick Fury and Maria Hill turning out to be Skrulls at the end of that movie, which is pretty dope. So
except for kind of in the MCU now, the Skrulls are like good people.
Good people, yeah.
But they're always the bad guys in the comic books.
I think
so.
Well, wouldn't it be a bit of a swerve to because again, we thought they were the bad guys in Captain Marvel. Turned out they were empathetic, characters, and we didn't really view them as bad guys by the end of that.
Well, that group of them anyway.
Right. And it could be a swerve to where maybe what they're doing is not as, good as we thought, or that more than, like you said, it's just that group that we empathize with. Maybe their race as a whole is doing some shenanigans.
Right.
But as far as that series went in Marvel Weapon 2, what actually took place from that? What were the Skrulls trying to do? And where did the heroes go when they took their place?
So long ago, I can't. I've really let everybody down.
You've let nobody down. You're so money. You're so money. You don't even know how money you are.
I can't remember where the heroes went. I mean, they didn't disappear. They're still there. In many of the titles, after they were discovered that they were Skrulls, the Skrulls have this kind of weird chin, a little bit like Thanos, and so they would be kind of look like they were kind of a combination of the Skrull and the hero with the weird chin. But I just feel like I've let a lot of people down because I can't really remember everything that was in that whole event. It was just a big event back then. It was a lot of years ago too. So.
But you let nobody down because you let everyone know that it is a big event. And this is something that we should be excited for.
Yeah.
And could have like lasting ramifications in the MCU, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it was one of the coolest things because the basic, I mean, at that time it was such a thing where you thought you could depend on these characters and the other heroes and your fellow teammates on a super team, and it could have, and those, some of them had been imposters for a long period of time and nobody knew. Mm-hmm. So that's a little strange because you could be a Skrull right now, Captain Mal, and I wouldn't know, and it would be very concerning to me if you were.
Right.
Because I'm not.
Right.
How do we know?
I don't know. We're both winking at each other. I don't think we know.
So this is a big event. Like
one thing's for sure.
So saying it was a big event is like the Infinity War. When the comics came out, it was like multi-parts, right? Like it had several parts in the comics. Like you had to look forward to the next part. You know, it was one of those like some big events that had a lot. I remember that part. It had there's a lot of different parts in this comic that came out dealing with the Secret War, just like, you know, a lot of the other stuff that comes out with
and those things used to be really successful back then because it would get people to buy a whole bunch of different titles of comic books, but then and I think the last one, they just finished up one. It gets to where you can't hardly buy all the comic books. Nobody can buy all the comic books all the time. They're pretty expensive. They're more expensive now, and there's just so many titles. And when they spread it, and then what they do, I mean,
they do it on purpose. Yeah.
They do it on purpose to spread it over tons
money.
of titles. But I think now it's starting to get to where it kind of hurts them a little bit because people are like, I can't buy all these.
Okay, so this is what happened with Doomsday Clock over at DC, which was the Watchmen storyline and Dr. Manhattan integrated into the DC universe. I really wanted to read that,
right,
except that I had to get this issue of The Flash, and this issue of Titans, and this issue of Batman, and this issue of Justice League. Wait a month, and then this issue of and it just goes on forever until you just fucking wait, and then you get the entire graphic novel collection together. So it's like, yeah, I want to keep up with comic books, but like you're saying, that's impossible almost nowadays. You know, you gotta read everything, and who has time to do that? If you have time to do that, props to you, sir. Like,
more power
to you, or ma'am,
or whatever,
or whatever makes
are.
you feel good. But seriously, like, who can do that? So. But you're right. Civil War was that way too. Yeah. That was multi-issue and all that. And I just read the graphic novel. I just read the graphic novels when they come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
12 issues. You read it in graphic novel format. To me, that goes a lot. It's not like you read a single and you're done in 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is.
So the graphic novel is like the equivalent of binging.
Essentially, the series. Yeah, essentially. So that works for me, and I think a lot of people. But I think this has the potential to be really, really fun and really cool and different. You know what I mean? The scroll is that whole changing element, like adds something unique that we've only seen, a couple times in the MCU.
Right.
And can open the doors to more cosmic stuff too.
Yes.
Especially with the Maria Rambeau tie-in at the end of WandaVision.
Yes.
So
I'm looking forward to whatever stories they come up with and whatever they want to put out for our viewing pleasure and enjoyment. I'm ready to watch it. That's what I have to say.
I'm ready.
I'm saying
to watch it.
So speaking of upcoming Marvel stuff, a trailer dropped for, this is going to be a movie, I believe, and it is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, good job. Nailed it first time.
First try.
10th time.
10 tries off camera, kids. Nailed it the first try. Mm-hmm. So, moral of this story is you turn that camera on and Captain Mal turns right on also. Gold.
Nothing but gold.
So money. But yes, okay, so that trailer came out, and the funniest fucking meme ever is a really sad Danny Rand being like that look you get after you see the Shang-Chi trailer. Yeah. Because it's everything he should have been. All right. T-Crawler, talk about that trailer. What did you like? What got you?
First of all, anything that's like out of the mainstream of like the most popular characters out there, I like that because it gives me something to look forward to that I don't really know about. So, but in the trailer itself, just the choreography, because that for me was a big thing with Iron Fist. Like the fighting was so slow
And so many cuts.
Oh, man.
Way too many cuts.
Yeah, so just seeing that in itself is like, okay, I'm already in. And of course this was, when they start the trailer, it's a short trailer. So just that, like, again, just that alone that sold me. I was like, okay, this looks pretty freaking cool. And just some of the stuff that they like kind of went over real quick, it looked pretty badass. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to seeing where this is going to go. So and I don't know much about that guy. So, just like most other people, I'm going to have to look some stuff up and figure it out, or just wait for it to come out and just watch it. So
here's the thing. So how Weapon 2 was talking about Mortal Kombat and like not being a fan of the lore and not knowing a whole lot, but you see like a really good trailer with lots of crazy action and over the top effects and all. That's me for this.
Yeah.
I don't know much about this character either, but I saw some great fucking fighting. I saw like an interesting story that was unfolding. I saw some great effects, and just like it's a Marvel movie, so I'm just like, all right, like sold. Like I don't need anything else. Like I would have went and watched it without a trailer. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because But watching the trailer, I'm just like, all right, dope. So Weapon 2, tell us a little bit about this character. What do you know?
Well, Shang-Chi does not have any superpowers. Okay. He is just the best martial artist that there is.
Hang on, time out on the field. I have a legitimate question.
Yes.
Isn't, in the comics, Iron Fist the best martial artist in the world?
He's the living weapon. Okay.
The living weapon.
Arguably cooler name.
I guess if we're just talking about, I mean,
that is a neat name.
We can't even, we can't even talk about what's happened on screen because there's no comparison. But in the comic books, you could have a debate about all day long about who you think is going to be the best martial artist, because they're both really good. But I think that
so you gotta.
I think that the Mandarin might have started in the Shang-Chi.
Hang on.
That's a little bit.
What?
Gun to your head. You're betting your house. Who do you pick in a fight? Iron Fist.
Just martial arts.
Strip.
Or igniting.
No glowy. Just straight
Shang-Chi.
Up. Really?
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, he was their very first is it foray? Is that like a real word? Or did I just make that up?
No, that's a real word.
Okay, foray
into.
There
you go. Nailed it. Ferda.
Into martial arts in the comic books for Marvel, and Marvel has, even up until now, always considered him one of their best properties, even though he's kind of not super mainstream.
Right.
And they had, who was that? Who was the old TV kind of character?
Kung Fu: The Legend Continues.
No, there was.
That was a good show.
That
was a good show.
There was one of these. There was one of the. I don't know. I was going to say there was one of the old characters with that they tried to introduce into the comic books, but they decided that they didn't. That it was kind of played out and maybe not the best character anymore. But anyways, I really went off the rail with that one. I knew what I wanted to say, and then I just gave up.
We're just gonna assume it was insightful and witty.
Yeah. So, anyways, the things that I loved about that trailer was it looked like all the best parts of every martial arts movie you could. It looked like that's what they set out to do. They didn't set out to try to tell some dramatic story first or use it as a mechanism to get from point A to point B. What they did was they said, we're going to make the best martial arts movie that we can make in the MCU. And it looks like that's what they're doing.
And it did kind of have like an old school kung fu movie feel to it, didn't it? Like,
I felt like of course, we've only just seen the teaser trailer, but I felt like I saw parts of all kinds. I felt like I was seeing some Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in there.
Yeah.
I felt like I was seeing kind of parts and cool things about all types of martial arts movie. It did have kind of, like you said, an old kung fu. It's
not the entire thing. You could just feel like little elements, right?
It's got all the best parts of a martial arts movie to me. I think it's going to be really good.
I think they wanted to focus on all the action, like you were saying, because with Iron Fist, you didn't get all that kind of action. So they're like, you know what? Let's show these guys what we can actually do.
I feel like this is their redemption.
Right. I mean,
let's show these guys all the action.
With Iron Fist, they were just too busy trying to build the Defenders and introduce characters. And is this a mechanism to get from here to here? And drama, trying to tell a dramatic story.
And also, okay, so I don't think we weren't really podcasting or anything when Iron Fist seasons 1 and 2 came out. So real quick, yes, all of that was what was wrong with those shows also. Also, Danny Rand was an insufferably boring, uninteresting, whiny little pissy character, and like you never ever empathize. He had one fucking job.
Yeah.
Hey, don't punch that specific wall with your glowy fist. All you need to do is don't do that. And then he fucking does it.
Yeah.
Like,
basically.
They make
worthless.
They make these characters what they're going to be. All these characters that we love in the MCU have been, some of them done in the past, and they could have been done again, just poorly, just with the wrong people, with the wrong direction, with the wrong writers, with the wrong intent for where things were going. It really takes people who want to make these characters, and they have to do it. It just doesn't happen. You have to make it happen.
Yeah.
You got to make the stories interesting. You got to make the characters interesting. You got to write things for them to say in ways that we're going to enjoy. Because if we don't, you've all failed.
Right. And the other shows, specifically like a couple of them, but like felt like they were made by people who got the characters. This Iron Fist didn't feel like that at all. Like that was just somebody's job, and like, hey, they made a good show. Like it's not bad. Like it's actually not bad, despite how much people crap on it. But it's just compared to everything else was not.
You could
good.
tell in the second season they changed their fight choreographers. They actually used 2.
Right.
And you could tell the difference.
It
in
is
the fighting
better.
Style. Yeah, the fighting style, all the fights in the fight scenes in the second season was way better.
But the problem is, we had Daredevil, and all of those fights, and the long takes and the no cuts and all that, and then you watch the hallway fight in season 1 of freaking Iron Fist, and I counted like 12 cuts in a 30-second shot, and I was like, "Are you fucking with me? Like, what's happening right now?"
I mean, and they've made these characters, and what they've done is they've changed them and adapted them to what they thought and successfully were going to be cool. I mean, Thor in the comic books is a very serious character. Okay, there's no joking around with him. He's just very serious, and that's how they started with in the MCU. But they turned him kind of into this funny guy.
They adapted,
and it is funny and hilarious. And I never remembered reading a whole bunch of stuff involving Star-Lord, because Star-Lord, when I used to read him, didn't look anything like what we've seen him in the MCU. He was kind of a goofy looking guy, but he seemed to be this real serious, take himself serious, never joking around, and he's turned into one of the biggest clowns in the MCU. So they've decided that this is what we want these characters to be, and we're going to make them that, and we're going to pick the actors that we want, that we think that can do what we're trying to do, and we're going to find writers and directors that are going to make the kind of movies so that these are what we feel are going to be super entertaining and people are going to love. But it just doesn't happen. You got to make it happen, and you got to have all the right people behind it, because if you don't, then you wind up with Iron Fist.
Well, any movie, any TV show, it's controlled chaos, right? And that's why, as a form of art, it's crazy, because it takes so many moving parts to actually work together in order to make something special. You need a great actor. You need great writing. You need great directing. You need great art design. You need great set design. You need everything to fucking come together for it to be good. And so when a show like that doesn't come together in all those ways, it's I feel like if that was not a Marvel property and we just watched that as some random show, we probably would have been a lot nicer to it.
Yeah.
But comparing it to everything else and putting it in the MCU, then it's just like, ugh.
Well, I mean, and let's be honest. I mean, making a movie or making a television show or something like that and actually doing the technical job of cameras and getting people where they need to be and directing and getting them on their marks and all this kind of stuff seems like
has to be a nightmare.
Seems like a nightmare.
A fucking nightmare.
So that's one thing, just the ability to actually make the thing. That's a good job too. So it's a whole nother level of artistry, and to take it to where now you're going to hone this thing into something a little more magical and kind of a higher level of what we want. So it's not easy. It's not like I'm telling you I can do it better. I'm just saying I applaud the people who can do this really, really well and who keep giving us the kind of stuff we want.
Well, so here's the thing. Yeah. What is that? Segue? I feel you. So Falcon and Winter Soldier. So one of the things in that show that we were talking about earlier is that some of the writing isn't as strong as we would like it to be. Some of the character bits aren't as strong, and some shit happened purely conveniently and just because it needed to happen because of the plot. That said, that is a good show with some truly great fucking moments so far. And those great moments put it over the top as something that I consider special and that you need to watch.
It's up for an Emmy.
Is it really?
I heard it's up for an Emmy.
For like a real Emmy or like a bullshit Emmy? For a
real Emmy. It's up for an Emmy.
Like costume design or what?
No, I think it's up. I can't. Here, keep talking.
Okay.
Keep talking. Let's see what it's up
Don't
for.
threaten me with a good time.
Right.
So here's the thing. So they had some truly great moments, and I'm not going to get too deep into it right now because we do want to do a full review of that on an upcoming podcast. Okay. But so far, good fucking show. Yep. I'm digging it a lot, right?
Oh, yeah.
So with everything that has happened so far, potential spoilers, T. Crawler, what do you think is going to happen in the finale? Like, what's your bold prediction? By the way, I just want to point out, fucking Captain America, the new one, what's his name? That actor?
John Walker. Or the actor's...
doesn't matter. That guy's actually a great actor. Yeah. Like, he's in a bunch of stuff. He is in a really good episode of Black Mirror. You should check that out. Yeah. But yeah, he's a good actor. And I think for what he's given, he's killing it in this role. Like, he's really good.
I mean, when you can get people to send you threatening letters to your home... Like, then you're really doing what you need.
Especially when, like, he's not really being an asshole. Well, I mean, he's kind of being an asshole, but, like, he's doing what he believes is right. He's doing the job.
There's a lot of people, like, on these different groups I'm with, and, like, think, they're, like, taking this as the new Captain America. I'm like, come on, people. There's a thing called Google. I mean, look it up. Like, you see who John Walker is. He's, like, he uses, I think in the comics, he's like, something Patriot... And then he's Captain America for a little while because he's the face. That's what they think the United States needs is this symbol, basically. But then he goes by U.S. Agent. Like that's who he's known for, and he's part of the one of the groups he's in is the Dark Avengers. Like, this is stuff that people can look up, but they're just like going crazy. Like,
well, I hate it. So okay, one thing that I hate is when people like text me or message me and they ask me lots of questions, especially nerd related stuff, and like I usually don't mind. But oftentimes they ask me stuff like this, and it's just like, dude, all these questions seem very Googleable. Right. You could whip, and the time it took you to text me, you could have a fucking answer if you just did a little Google search. But it's fine. It's fine. Make me feel smart. But anyway, you're right about all that. But what do you think's gonna happen?
I just one of the things I really want to happen, and is that case that Bucky gave Sam. From Wakanda, like, because he asked the Wakandas for one more favor, right? And so, like, I'm hoping it's that freaking wingsuit that has the star, has the star in front. It's like, oh my God.
As you guys may or may not know, Sam does take up the mantle of Captain America in the comics, and he does have a badass looking suit. Actually, he has the shield and he has the wings. Like, he's still flying around. So potentially we can get that with vibranium wings.
Oh my God.
Which, no more getting ripped apart, none of that. Which I think,
I mean, that scene was awesome though.
No, dope. But I think specifically they showed us that, and like I rewatched The Winter Soldier, the movie, Captain America 2. Great movie, by the way. And like Bucky rips off one of the wings and was like, yeah, that shit ain't gonna happen anymore.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So potentially we can get that.
So I want to see that, and then
I
want to see a fight between him and freaking John Walker.
I also want to point out, so like, especially if he gets vibranium wings and all that, I like how he can use and manipulate with the wings and the thruster in close quarters to make him more agile. Yeah,
That's what
like,
I love about
but to make him be able to hang in a fight with a super soldier, where he has like no real business.
powers. And
yeah,
he's like you said.
but combine that with the shield and like a vibranium fucking suit with wings,
man,
like he's then all of a sudden I buy it. I buy no super soldier serum. I buy you being Captain America.
Right.
What if it's like an Iron Man type suit where he's like got superpowers now because he's in a robot suit, man.
Don't play with my emotions.
So it looked like, from what I can read right here, that it's actually up for the best limited drama series.
Oh shit, that's a real Oscar. Like, actually,
drama character
by real like
category.
That's a good Oscar.
Yeah.
It's not like a sound editing or some bullshit or like CGI like lots of Marvel movies getting out. That's a real Oscar.
I mean, I'm really starting to notice these shows and these movies.
Good,
like,
good, because you know what? This show, and we'll talk about it in the review, was hitting on some fucking topics that I did not think it was going to go for, which made it infinitely better for me.
Right. Oh,
immediately better. I was like, holy shit, they went there. I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised because they went hard into the trauma thing in WandaVision.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, they're not going to shy away from these topics, but I'm bravo to the fucking show.
Yeah.
And
So
we'll talk about it in depth. But anyway, so you think that's going to happen?
I think that John Walker and Falcon are going to have this fight. I mean, it's the end of the series. Why not have a big fight between the two? And that's, you know what, that's the only thing I'm going to go with, because again, like, I like these series that will go week to week and I don't really know what's coming up, and I'm like, I'm just excited to see what actually happens. And so that's the only bold prediction I'm going to have, and it's kind of weak or whatever, but that's all I want to do, because I want to see what else happens. So what else unfolds? I just want to be surprised. So
no, and again, we talked about this when we talked about WandaVision. I like this. Like, I like the week to
Love
week.
it.
Like, I've forgotten how fun this is. And all the like the memes on a weekly basis, and the talk. By the way, for the best original memes, check out TWG on Instagram. But so like the memes and the theorizing and the talking and all that, like, it's cool to react.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so this is super fun. But
I think if I remember right, this is not going to be just one series, one season. Like
I think they were talking about season 2
after the Emmy nominations. They're talking about.
They're going to get more.
So what's your bold prediction?
Basically the same thing. First of all, I want to point out the last episode leading with that fight between the three of them was dope.
That was
yeah. So, you know, of course, like, he's going to get the suit, and they've been by the way, they did a great job building that up, because literally he gets the case and like he's starting to open it, and I was like, you motherfucker. Like,
know,
don't
right?
you dare it. Don't you at least show me and then fucking, and I was like, ah, and I'm like yelling at my TV, and I'm just like, well, that's good job, show. Like, this, you're getting me to react like that.
Yeah.
Well played. You're doing your job. So easy tease. So yeah, I want to see him in the costume. Obviously, I want to see him fight John Walker. I'm curious where John Walker's story is going to go, because like you said, he does some shit in the comics.
Yeah.
So, and he is a super soldier, regardless of how this ends. So I'm curious who that lady was. Who I have no idea who that person was to talk to.
I do, but I'm sure Weapon 2
looked like Elaine from Seinfeld just rolled up, started talking to him about like a big salad.
It was Elaine.
Was it really Elaine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nailed
But
it.
she has some big. I'm sure Weapon 2. Go ahead.
It's a big long name, but basically who she is in the comic books is Madam Hydra.
Yes.
Yeah. So
That's not an ominous name at all.
So I doubt that they're probably going to go right there into this. She's just going to probably be some weird. I mean, if you guys have been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I know it doesn't sound like either of you have been.
I just started again.
You have?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You'll find out that Hydra has infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D., so you'll probably find out that she's kind of in the earlier stages of still being some type of a high governmental S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, but yet she's still probably secretly working for Hydra. And she wants U.S. agent to be a person to kill, an assassin.
Yeah.
Because they're not mad that he did the killing.
Mm-hmm.
They're mad that
he got recorded.
it was on social media and it went viral.
Right.
That's what they're saying. Hey, you can't do that part.
Well, and I like
the
how
other
she.
part. Okay.
I like how she explained it too. Like, you're
Yeah.
not mad you did it. You're just
Yeah.
mad you got caught. And I'm just like, well, if that ain't fucking true.
Right.
So
By the way, I like that. And also, so a couple years ago in the comics, there was the fucking Hydra Captain America that came out. So like, I saw some shit saying that John Walker might assume that mantle, which would be dope.
yeah, I mean they could. Well, yeah, I mean basically, if he works for her, basically he's going to be a Hydra agent, and so I don't know what they're going to do with his character. I mean, I wish this is what I wish. I was hoping they were going to use Zemo a little bit more as kind of the I mean,
But we got an hour-long Zemo cut, so
no, let's put it this way. I loved where they went with him and what they used him for. He was kind of a Loki type character,
despite it being a little too convenient, but
yes.
sure.
But I wish. I mean, you have him get the mask, you have him put the mask on, and then you never see him with the mask on again. It's like, okay, that was just to make us all happy to see him put the mask on. But,
Fan service.
But I wish that you would have tried to make him try to do something more bigger.
Right, but they also leave it open. And like, oh, we're taking him in the raft. And it's like, oh, well, no one's escaped from that place ever. So, like, all right, he'll be back. It's fine.
Yeah. So so you can't break him out again there, Bucky.
Yeah, it's like one of the original memes there. Weapon 2. Like, but you know that Hydra thing, the whole Hydra thing, like in the comic books, I remember it bled over into like a lot of other stories. I remember reading an issue of a comic that had Miles Morales in it, and he's this girl he started dating. Come to find out that her parents were part of Hydra. Like it was all over. Like it bled into all kinds of things, and it just so our heroes had to deal with not knowing who the Hydra agents were and whatever. So it's like it's another one of those they could potentially be one of those big events where Hydra takes over. But Madam Hydra, like I did my own looking up of some stuff too. Like that particular character was involved in. She started a couple of groups, and from what I read, like she was part of the Dark Avengers, and she was part of something else. There was another group. I can't remember the freaking name, but there's another big group that I remember hearing before. But they could go so many places with this. This is why I like this. Like when they introduce characters like this, even the French guy, he's actual. He's been in some of the MCU movies, and people don't realize that he was in like I think he was in Winter Soldier and one other movie that
George St. Pierre.
Yeah, so he's so I like when they introduce these characters and they're not like, again, mainstream popular characters that everybody knows.
Well,
you got to do some digging sometimes.
Well, and even Weapon 2 shared a thing about like how many, like 5 members of the Young Avengers have been introduced now on the show.
Yeah.
One, murdered. But like they're actually, and like the guy that is Falcon's buddy that he said keep the wings, like he assumes the mantle. That character assumes the mantle of Falcon,
right?
In the comics, when he assumes the mantle of Captain America. So like there's some like deep cut shit going on, which is actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like any episode of any of these shows or movies could have super relevant shit to the universe.
And they could go all different directions.
Oh,
That's
man.
the thing is, I mean, we could sit here and speculate all day long about what we think, and that was kind of the biggest problem with people trying to get their hopes up for WandaVision was they were trying to think too much about where they wanted this to go.
Right.
And I kind of like not knowing where it's going to go and have it go just some crazy different direction that I never thought of. That's the fun, and that's the fun of waiting. And not getting instant gratification and having to wait and think and plan, and then holy cow, I didn't think they were going to go that way.
I'm a millennial and I demand instant gratification.
I hear you. I hear you. Yes.
Not gonna happen.
I hate that I'm a millennial. Technically, it's so stupid. But yeah, no. So overall, as we were all saying, great show, and I'm genuinely curious how it's gonna end, and I'm excited. And if season 2 comes, fucking yes! Like I like these characters together.
Yeah,
I like their relationship. I like their chemistry between the two actors, and yeah, it's fucking dope.
I love how they throw things in from the movies, like when he's like, "You're not gonna move your seat up, are you?"
Nope.
And it's like if you remember that part, like then it brought you more joy. If you remember where that originally came from, it was like.
I also thought Shannon Carter was way more interesting.
Oh man, right?
Like
she was, and what in the world's going on with her now? Is she like
Man.
what do they call it? The operator or whatever? Who's the person that's the main person that they're
it feels like it's her now.
Yeah.
Like,
saying it's like, I mean, it's
I'm on board with evil
for
Shannon.
me, I mean, what are they calling it in this when the person that
It wasn't operative. It was something like that.
That's
operator. So close.
Matrix.
Anyway,
Matrix.
I think that person, the big person behind the whole thing, is either going to be Madam Hydra or Sharon Carter.
It was some, like,
or
professional
Sharon Carter
something,
is kind of double agent right now, trying to infiltrate.
I think that's she's so bitter.
Yeah.
Well, I like that though. Like she has every right to be.
Yeah.
Like she called them out on their bullshit too. It's like, yeah, you fucking fuck you guys. So I liked it. No, it was cool. It was great. So all right. So that's what's going on there. So then the next thing coming out, I believe, in terms of Marvel, is Loki. I don't know if you guys know this or not. There's this sick trailer that came out. That's So good.
So good. Yes.
So good.
Yes, it's really good. I mean, it had been posted on the World's Greatest News and Reviews Facebook page for several days before.
Well, like, obviously.
Why
are you bringing a bullshit, bro? Why are you bringing a bullshit?
I felt like you were going that direction. I
was totally going that direction.
So, all
right,
and then he finally watched it when somebody else told him to watch it. So, that's great.
Well, you're not saying anything that didn't happen, but the way you're wording it sounds suspect, sir. T. Crawler, what did you think of the Loki trailer?
It's like all these trailers for the MCU, they're all just exciting. They're exciting me to see these characters, and I just kind of Loki is he's intriguing. Like I honestly I want to see where this character goes, but knowing that it basically takes place from where in Endgame the Tesseract like slid over to him and he picked it up and disappeared. Like that's the Loki we're getting from that point.
Yeah, it's Avengers 1 Loki.
Yeah,
no character developments.
Right. So it's gonna be very interesting to see where that goes. And at one point in the trailer, it had like a Men in Black kind of feel to it.
It did have a Men in Black kind of feel to it.
So I'm just excited, man.
Are you gonna do that dance? Are you gonna dance to the Men in Black?
No, calm down.
Why are you bringing up old stuff, bro?
Why are you bringing up old stuff? That happened one time.
Okay.
Fucking nailed it, though.
What do you think about it?
What do I think about the Loki trailer?
Yeah.
I think it makes me want to bob my head. Oh, no. So I talked about it in the last episode, and I'll say it again. Like, amazing. Tom Hiddleston is the antithesis of what the Loki character should be. He's as synonymous with that character as anybody is, like Iron Man and fucking Robert Downey Jr. Whoever, you know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
The tone and the theme seems on point for that character. I love the playing around with multiple timelines and time travel and all that kind of stuff. And I love that we got lack of character development Loki.
Yep.
Because Loki at the end of Ragnarok would not do the same shit that this Loki's going to do. Yeah. So it looks great. And again, like you said on the last podcast, all these shows have like their own feel, their own personality, their own tone, which is fucking amazing and like unique and fucking great. So I'm jumping ahead, but we're gonna rattle off some Marvel properties that are coming up, and this might be the thing I'm most excited for.
And I like that they've got all the TV shows and all the movies all intertwine and they all intermix and all the characters interact with each other. Any of them could show up on any.
You really feel that way.
Any other movie,
really feel that way.
Any other show, they could just walk in.
Yeah.
I mean, even when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was on ABC, is that what they were on?
ABC.
Nick Cage showed up in that show a few times. So they're not bashful, especially
Nick Cage?
with their what?
Nick Cage? You said Nick Cage. And like in my brain went Ghost.
Like,
my brain was like, well, he was Ghost Rider.
Nick Fury.
Okay.
I knew what he meant, but I still say yep.
Like fucking Nick
Fury
Cage
showed up. But so what I'm saying is,
and I was just watching Leaving Las Vegas last night, so I was just picturing him all fucking crazy eyed. Like he showed up, really? Like okay, maybe I do need to watch this show. You need to take his face off.
But they can show up anywhere, anytime, on anything, and it won't even surprise you. It'll be like, oh yeah, of course they're here. They're best friends, or they're on this team, or whatever, or they're going to be in the next movie together. He's
been in movies and series all over the place. So that was one of the main characters that's done that so far.
Right.
But I remember reading that the reason that Kevin Feige is what I like to call him. Make it real elegant. Like anyway, that's the reason that he's like involved with the movie and the TV series, and even with the comics. He's not in charge of what comics put out, but he wants them to come to him with the storylines because he wants to make it all inclusive for everybody to be able to pick up a comic and read and actually like not be in an area where they're like lost about what's going on in the comics, because even if they see any show or movie, they can kind of figure out what's going on. So with that, and he's in these people being signed for these contracts. The contracts I heard were pretty intense contracts to where you have to be available to have a cameo in movies or TV series, because
which is why some actors shy away because they're so expensive.
Right. One that I remember I really got excited for was Mark Ruffalo is actually going to make an appearance in She-Hulk when that comes further down the line, but when that comes out, because
of course he's her cousin.
Yeah, but back in the past they wouldn't have had that. They would have just had she would have mentioned his name or something, but they wouldn't have actually showed the
this isn't the CW, bro.
No,
this ain't the CW.
Well, CW
characters are showing up
from all their different shows, so I mean,
CW's
showing
up. up.
Right, but so the difference is, I remember, like, even say Phase 1, Phase 2, MCU, whatever. You knew the characters all existed in the same universe and the same world, but they weren't going to interact unless it was a crossover event, right? Unless it was an Avengers movie, whatever. We're past that now.
No, there were some characters. I mean, has Batman ever showed up? No, there was some characters who were never going to show up.
Well, he's
ever.
in DC, bro.
What? I'm talking about CW.
No, I'm talking about MCU.
Okay, sorry. Never mind.
It's the Marvel podcast now.
But fair, Batman never showed up. But what I'm saying is, in the MCU, you knew unless it was like an Avengers movie, nobody's just showing up, right? Like everybody has their own movies. We're past that now. Like I remember a couple years ago, I was reading a Punisher comic book, and fucking Captain America, Sam Wilson's Captain America, just like fucking shows up, and like random people just show up in not a crossover event book. You know what I mean? And we're there now. We're there where characters just fucking show up, and like you're not going to be surprised or shocked. You're just like, well, that's awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah,
because anything can happen.
Yep.
And we are so fucking spoiled as nerds that this is the world that we live in.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome for real.
All right. So on that note, let's look at Marvel's upcoming release schedule, and let's look at what movies or TV shows we're most excited for. All right. So up next, we got Loki. Then we got Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Spider-Man, No Way Home, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, What If. So, from that, what are you guys most excited for?
Let me look at this. So,
there's a couple.
I'm excited for different ones for different reasons.
Right. Yes.
Fuck it. Let's go one by one. We talked Loki. Let's talk about Black Widow.
Black Widow, I'm mostly just excited for because I've been waiting
so
for
freaking
so
long,
right? I mean, it's like I'm excited for it because it's the next thing that's supposed to be coming out pretty soon, and as far as a movie, and we've been waiting for it for so long,
delayed over a year.
I just want it to happen,
right?
And also, as far as characters deserving of a solo movie, Black Widow should have had it years ago.
right.
But yes, so
yep.
Yeah. Let's see.
So we talked Shang-Chi, so The Eternals.
The Eternals. That's what I'm excited for because I don't know anything about the Eternals.
I'm going to look at Weapon 2. I'm like, yeah?
Well, I mean, the Eternals are basically they're at the same level as Thanos because Thanos is an Eternal.
Aren't they essentially like kind of reminiscent to the Greek pantheon, the way that the Asgardians are Norse?
A lot of the gods that we consider Greek gods and stuff are Eternals.
Right.
They're basically a step down from the Celestials, and they're the main reason that I'm looking forward to this is it introduces a whole brand new group of characters to create stories around and to use in all types of different ways. It just basically opens a whole nother door to a whole nother section of the Marvel universe. That's my biggest excitement about the Eternals. I mean, there's been several Eternals in characters that have been Avengers and this or that, and so what is his name? Thanos' brother, Star Fox, was that his name? Star Fox.
Something. Yeah.
Fox is a Star. I think it's Star Fox. Anyways,
also great in 64 game.
I was gonna say
he's a goofy character that was an Avenger that everybody thinks is a dumb character and everything because his power was
Star Fox
was to get people to attract to him. He was like had this power of attraction.
Yeah,
people just thought he was awesome. So there's a lot of the Eternals who have
who have like 1 second
who have like dumb powers, but I'm just excited for it. I want to see what they do with the characters.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like you said, new door to open to go down, and again, I love it when you mix in mythology with. You know, what we interpreted as like mythology and gods and all that, but like the real version of that story. You know what I mean? Like, so this will be cool. And check those boxes. All right, Spider-Man No Way Home. Well, I dare say
there's a whole bunch of characters and stuff that's going to be happening in that one. We're gonna get as far as fan service. We're gonna get
all the fan service
of characters.
We confirmed Doc Ock's coming back from Spider-Man 2, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And so many characters: Emma Stone, Andrew Garfield,
Jamie Foxx.
Are they introducing the entire Sinister Six? I mean, they're
sounds fucking like
sounds
it.
like it.
Yeah.
You don't even know where they're gonna go.
Jamie
they have so many
Foxx
characters.
Coming back as
Electro.
Yeah, and Daredevil's going to be in there.
This can be one of the most amazing things ever, and like one of the movies like we've been wanting to have happen forever.
Some people have said that Doctor Strange is supposed to show up in this one. He was actually supposed to show up in WandaVision, but because of all the complications and everything like that, but maybe I've heard he's supposed to show up in this movie.
I mean, if we're hitting some multiverse shit, that's not a bad movie for him to show up in. So,
True.
Yeah, I dare say T. Crawler's excited. For that.
Yeah. So excited.
All right, and after that we got Miss Marvel, which seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know a whole lot about that character either, aside from what I did in research. But just from what I've seen and from the little snippet that Marvel put out, talking about the show, what the show is going to be about and the group that it's going to be representing and all that. Like, that's super awesome. That's great. It's like bringing more diversity and all that, which is great. And the character seems super cool. So
she's pretty cool.
I'm on board. It seems cool. She's in that video game that sucked. But
she's one of the cooler type of new characters that they've come up with, in my opinion. She's
they label her an Inhuman.
And
she is an Inhuman, right?
You had said that before, and I was like, I don't think so, but you are right. She is an Inhuman.
Yeah.
And so, but her powers are cool, where she can take the form of anybody, and she can get all stretchy and everything, like Mr. Fantastic.
So she's like Mr. Fantastic, and the Skrull had a baby.
Yes, yeah, because she I think
And
originally her character, because she was, she didn't feel good. She was part of the cool thing about this is her struggling with who she is and trying to be comfortable with who she is and be proud of who she is, because she wasn't at the beginning, and she used to make herself look like Miss Marvel, the Carol Danvers before she became Captain Marvel character, because she felt like, well, if I'm this white blonde girl, people will accept me, and so it's kind of cool to see her deciding that no, I can be myself and still be a cool superhero. So
and that might be an important message for younger people to get. So
that's an important message for everybody, to include people that are superheroes. Yes.
All right, and then after that we got What If, which we did get a little teaser for that.
Excited for that one.
Dope.
Yes.
So dope. Like, it looks so awesome.
I love alternate stories where people can just use their imagination and go, what if this thing happened? And I can make any story, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't have anything to do with the real.
As crazy as you want.
It doesn't have to tie into anything, because it's just a one-off, made-up story of the most crazy thing I can think of. That's what I like about What If.
And the neat thing, being animated, who fucking cares about a budget?
Right.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah. Animation, drawn pictures cost the same no matter what the pictures are.
I think the only money spent is probably getting all the people back to do their
getting the voice
voices.
work to do it, which is awesome that they're even doing that.
Yeah.
It's like for continuity's sake, but lots of really neat shit coming from Marvel.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm excited. It's a great time to be a nerd. Keep saying it.
Right?
Seriously, it really is. All right, T. Crawler, why don't you talk about the Gram?
The Gram. Oh, yeah. So we got the Instagram. So the popular platform. If you go there, you will see a bunch of original memes by Weapon 2. That guy there. He's so money.
He doesn't even know how many he is.
But yeah, a lot of original memes, and people are loving them. They're whenever I see one, I crack up too. Like, they are pretty awesome. And to start seeing our memes like being used in other groups or pages that I follow, it's like,
that's how you know you've made it,
right? That's awesome. But anyway, go check us out on Instagram. You can get there by going to theworldsgreatest.net. It's awesome. We're at 15. Before this, I just checked. We're at 1,520 followers right now. It just climbing up, and it's nice to see that. So now I just want to take that and start Mischief Managed told us to start sharing on Facebook. So I want to start doing that and focusing on getting our Facebook numbers up and getting our subscribership up on YouTube. So, and getting our subscribership up on YouTube is that's a segue into what we have going on.
It's an easy way to get free stuff. Wouldn't you say, Weapon 2?
Free stuff is something that you don't pay for.
That's
and people
by
give it
definition.
to you. They give it to you just because they want you to be happy, which is what we want for everybody. We want everybody to be happy.
There's a way we do this.
And so, all right, here we go.
Here's the way we do this. That's right.
He's about to plug a contest, and our longtime viewers know that he can't do that with any beer left in his mug. And
alrighty. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do everything we can to make you get something for free that you'll enjoy, and all you have to do, everybody out there, is to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would like you to share our podcast, interact, hit your bell for notifications. We want you to comment with your name in the comment section of our most recent podcast. That's so when we reach the number 300, which is our next goal, and we do a random drawing, we know we have all the names of everybody, so we know who you are. And then after, if your name is drawn, we're going to contact you. And we're going to give you a TWG logo t-shirt with 3 logos to choose from in your size, because you're going to tell us what your size is. We don't have any type of telepathic powers or a super computer of some sort that has any special capabilities other than what the information that you give us.
we do have the power of assumption, but it's probably wrong.
And that would not be an accurate tool. So we would ask you what size you are. And then we would, I do drawings for people, and I would ask you what your favorite character is, and I would do a drawing of your favorite character.
Drawing.
And we're going to put in a Funko Pop, so if we can find one of your favorite character or something close to it or something that you'd like, we're going to include that. We're going to put together a bunch of comic books and whatever other cool things we come across for us to also include. We have pictures of our last 2 people that won the giveaway that we gave boxes to, that we post frequently, and that's it. It's pretty easy. Doesn't cost you a dime.
Nope.
All you got to do is subscribe.
Yes.
And comment with your name so we know who you are. We don't do anything with that other than just so we know who you are if you win, and so we have some way of putting you into a randomizer to draw a name. And that's about it, folks. Just do it.
Do it.
And then you get cool stuff, and then you're happy.
Free.
We're happy. Everybody's happy. And hey, check out our videos. They're cool.
Hey. Yes, hit the nail on the head. You want to win free stuff? Let us give you free stuff. Just, do everything he said. Check out our YouTube. We really want to get the subscriptions up there because Instagram's killing it. Facebook has been doing good. We want the traffic to our website to pick up also. Also, if you're at our website and you notice a little thing called Stolen Cheese, all one word,
yeah.
check that out.
Yes.
Stolen cheese.
Maybe
all one word.
even go to Stolen Cheese World on Instagram
That's
if you
right.
want to see this man I am pointing at weapon to.
And follow.
Give him a follow. Check out all his original artwork, and then you can go check out his stores on TeePublic and Redbubble, and you can see all his drawings that you can get put on a t-shirt or on a mug or whatever, tarp, whatever floats your boat. You can get it on there. So do all of that. And we really just want to get our YouTube numbers up. So if we can do that, we would totally appreciate it. We also have a Patreon. If you want to contribute to this 2-bit operation, we have $3, $5, and $10 tier levels. Once again, appreciate all of our Patreons. You are my favorite people in the whole wide world.
By far.
I think that's about it. You guys got any closing thoughts?
No, we did it, you guys. We
Did it again?
we did it again.
Tired Weapon 2
Man.
did it again. He got through it.
We did it.
I knew we'd do it.
Oh,
Jeez.
yeah.
Sometimes I'm not sure when we start out. I'm like,
Still
I
touch and go.
hope we're gonna do it.
But then every time,
Sometimes midway, I'm like, are we gonna do it?
I don't think
And
we're
then
doing it.
towards the end, I'm like, we did it. We did it.
Sea crawler.
No closing thoughts. No closing. I'm just excited for all these shows and everything to come out. Let's do this.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. If you've enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications.
Peace.